No! What? Because I was married for 2 fucking years!
You're a cunt, Brian.
Fuck you, cunt.
You're a cunt, Brian.
No, sir, I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it.
Fuck you, cunt.
You're a cunt, Brian.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of No, Sir, I Don't Like It. I was going to give Carmen a chance to say something, but I'll just keep rolling.
We appreciate it. Don't stop, please.
We want to give a shout out to Matt Maloney. He sent us a very lovely cunty email that I found really funny, and I'm just going to read the first paragraph so you guys know that Matthew Maloney, who's also a comedian in Los Angeles, you should check out, but he wrote, "I don't like that you whine about getting 0 emails from listeners. Hopefully this will prevent that for at least 1 week. You know you're not celebrities. Why would you expect people to take time to write in? Be grateful you have listeners." That is the exact tone I'm looking for in an email, and he nailed it. I feel like he's like, I don't like that you ask us to write in what we don't like about the show. We listen to it, don't we? Obviously, we like it. Another great point. He also said, I don't like that your contact information is hard to find. And then he also
in all fairness, we do say the email like on almost every podcast.
Yeah, but he said we say it so fast and it's not on the bio, any of the bios or anything. Or
oh, yeah.
So thank you for that, Matt.
I talked about condiments, but I think more places should offer gravy as a condiment option.
Just gravy? Just
I hate
regular
the fact
brown
that-
gravy?
I mean, I could go for white gravy, but I think brown gravy is more widely
Universal?
enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there's a bar restaurant I go to on Riverside, and they have like the happy hour has like $3 like fried chicken sliders, or they have like wings or whatever. They have
home
a
restaurant.
No, I do like home a lot. No, it's a Foreman Tavern.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so I like that place, but occasionally, depending on who's working, I'm there 2-3 days a week because we go after work. So so after the show wraps or after rehearsal, whatever, we go over to Foreman, and half the staff. I'm like, hey, can we get 10 sliders for all of us? We're gonna eat lunch, or whatever. They're like, oh, cool. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get like a few things of gravy, and we're there for 2 hours. Drinks, food. Charge me for that. It's gonna be $1. Get the fuck. I'm spending $30 on baby sandwiches.
You can't give me a little bit of meat juice?
I'm spending $100 in here right now.
Yeah.
You can't give me some fucking gravy? It makes me not want to go back.
Right.
Because you won't gift me $3 worth of
gravy
from
my $100.
So you're gonna forget about later. It's not your grandma's recipe.
Yeah.
Just bring me the fucking gravy.
Yeah, we do. Hey, we should give shout outs to the people who've been getting in touch.
Oh, yeah. Do it. You tell him.
Matt Maloney.
He's always bitching about something. That guy. Jesus Christ.
I got to tell you, Matt, I've had a lot of talks with you in person. I feel like I've responded to your emails in person, and that should be good enough. Really, what I'm doing is buying Carmen time to pull up your email. No,
he's so. I don't know.
He's great.
He is great. I remember he did write us in about he was mad about the Tone Bell episode where he was talking about how people shouldn't have access. He said people shouldn't have all access to gravy, like it's not a condiment.
Well, yeah, Tone Bell wanted gravy packets.
He was saying he was comparing it to curry. He was like, curry isn't a condiment either. It's like a specialty item, and that nobody owes you gravy.
But I think it's harder to make ketchup than gravy.
Why?
Because you gotta gravy is just meat drippings and flour. Tomato is vinegar, tomatoes.
It's
sugar,
way more processed. Yeah, it seems easier.
You're already cooking the meat, so they should have gravy packets. Although the gravy packet sounds disgusting as
yeah, there's no way that stuff stays good. Because it's also meat drippings too. So meat drippings don't have like a long shelf life, All
right.
And that's something that you just make immediately and then give to somebody.
Here's Matt's words for himself. I don't like hearing people demand gravy handouts.
First of all, if it's a condiment, it's not really a handout, is it?
Yeah, you bought something else.
Yeah, it's something to put on top of it.
But that would be
it's not like you have a sign on the side of the road that's like, will work for gravy.
But you know that touring comics and vagabonds will know that there's free gravy packets there, and then they'll be like, hey, you can just get a free bun from Wendy's, and then you get the gravy packets from this place, and then you have
make
a meal.
your hobo biscuits and gravy.
Exactly. I don't like hearing people demand gravy handouts. Gravies are not condiments. That's why they're called gravies. They're not called gravies, Matt. It's called gravy. Gravies sounds like people who fuck dead bodies. Doesn't it? It just sounds like you dig up bodies and fuck them. I'm a gravy. Oh, you know Derek? He's a gravy.
Gravies.
What does that mean? He fucks dead people. Next, you'll be saying curry is a condiment or barbecue sauce.
Barbecue sauce is served as a condiment.
Yeah,
you can get it with chicken nuggets and stuff like that. So it's.
I feel like he's going to the whiter side of fast food because if you go to Popeye's churches, you get barbecue sauce.
You get barbecue sauce. You get hot sauce. You can even get it at McDonald's. That's what I'm saying. You can get barbecue sauce with your nuggets at McDonald's or at Wendy's. So that is some white shit.
Where will it fucking end? No man in this world owes you gravy. That is a nice line, Matt.
That is a good line.
No man in the world owes you gravy. I don't care what the Bible says. Did you order mashed potatoes or chicken fried steak? No? Well, then calm the fuck down, pay the stupid $1, and stop harassing the waitstaff with your absurdities. Matthew.
I think requesting isn't the same as harassing.
Tone Bell doesn't strike me as a harasser.
No.
He's a nice, sweet man.
He is a sweet man. But if anything, maybe passive-aggressive. You know? Just because he calls Brenda out specifically, I don't think he's really...
Yeah.
He's really giving Brenda a hard time. I think that's more of the stuff, you know, that when you leave a situation, you're like, I should have said this. You know what I mean?
Right. I don't know, man. His name's Tone. That's hard enough. Give him some gravy. Your name's Matthew. That's a biblical name. Nobody second guesses your name. You go to Israel, they meet Matthews. You go to Texas, you meet Matthews.
Yeah.
His name is Tone. I get so mad. And my sister called me out because I'm just casually wasting thousands of people's lives, just pretending I'm murdering them. Because every time I talk to her on the phone, I was like, this asshole, I wish I could kill this car in front of me. And she's like, you're so LA now. And apparently,
how is that LA?
Apparently it's an LA stereotype because of traffic to move here and just wish death upon everybody else you just stop valuing lives as much once you come to this crowded,
because we're so
smoggy,
bombarded
hot
with it.
shithole.
And there's just so many lives here. You know,
Yeah,
you feel like if you killed a few thousand, we'd still be in traffic.
I know. Just blow up a soccer stadium. Just blow up like some stupid sport like soccer. Just go blow up a soccer stadium.
No, that would be racist because you know it's not all white people. You'd have to blow up something more diverse.
It's equality. Listen, I'm treating all the sports equally. I'm holding to the same standard.
No, you're shitting on soccer.
What I'm saying is when I hold every sport to the same level of entertainment and enjoyment, soccer fails because it's a weak sport. It's boring.
That's not true. That's why it's
okay. I'll tell you this.
Everywhere in the world except here.
Yeah, the best country in the world is the only one that doesn't like it.
It's not the best country in the world anymore. Come on.
You've never been to Appalachia.
I have.
You never been to Kings Canyon?
I have.
I went to King Canyons. I saw 2 redwood trees growing out of the same sprout. They were split. I fell to my knees and cried. I've been to Bulgaria. I didn't see shit that made me cry.
Maybe you didn't look hard enough. We actually got an email this last week.
Oh, yeah. Matt told me to tell you don't take him seriously. He's being funny.
I know he is.
Okay, he was worried that you were going to take him seriously.
Everybody just doesn't get it. Yeah, I don't really care. Here's the reason he wrote in. He said that
Me?
Brian, you claim the United States is the best country in the world. You certainly are entitled to that opinion.
I did not say that.
You did say it.
In jest?
I'm certain this email is in jest as well. So,
you told me to tell you not to take it seriously, but I'm already taking it too seriously.
I know.
All right, Maloney, let's see what other shit you have to say.
Brian, you claim the United States is the best country in the world. You certainly are entitled to that opinion, and I really can't speak to it as you've traveled the globe far more than I have myself. What I don't like is that your basis for this claim is because you cried while you were looking at a couple of trees.
Oh, yeah. Oh, thank God somebody made fun of me for that. I'm buying Matt a fucking donut. I'm going to Dunkies and I'm getting him a maple bar.
Nature can be at times breathtaking, and it isn't hard to imagine someone tearing up a bit when faced with its
Conjoined redwoods. You look at conjoined redwoods that are they're older than Jesus. You try not crying. But you're right.
But you say that you fell to your knees weeping at the sight.
I did not fucking say that. I fell to my knees because I was on DMT.
I'm not a macho guy who thinks men ought to not show emotions, but I personally can't understand the severe of a response from someone who isn't dendrophobic or high out of their gourd, which explains that then.
I wasn't on DMT. Hey, my friend on that road trip fucked the ground. This is some. You think I crying at trees? I woke up. My friend Dave. He's not. I don't really know him anymore. But you know how the roots form like a V in the ground of a tree. I woke up. We were camping at fucking at Yosemite, and he was humping the V, and he had like scraped up the dirt to make it like soft, like sand, and he was fucking the V of a tree.
Sad Woods National Forest.
Yeah.
That is.
He says, anyway, in any case, Brian's got a lot of weird friends. Somebody that got paid to shit in somebody's mouth. Somebody's
Rose.
Somebody fucking tree.
Dave.
Lot going on.
That's
whole
Rose,
gang's
Dave. The mouse shit of the tree fuck out here. How about a cross-country road trip?
Just doing horrible things in a mine to people.
I don't like normal people.
In any case, that is a very shallow way to determine a country's worth, and you leave me as I would be mass murder of a crowded soccer stadium over the other types of crowded sports stadiums unconvinced.
Confused, but I think he's wrong.
Yeah, the rest is just a sign off. All right.
Dude, real quick, though, the redwood trees literally only exist in this country. I don't think that's such shallow of a reason to base your love for a country. They're not even in Canada. The coastal redwood only exists in this country. So if that does something to me, then no other country can do that for me.
Not only that, but I just recently went and saw them. Granted, I was high as fuck on mushrooms, but they were gorgeous. And they were
unreal, and they're soft.
And it makes you feel, they're so soft. How are they so strong and live forever?
I know. I'm moisturized. I was a park ranger that was not high as fuck all the time, like you two
You were a park
hippies.
ranger? I wasn't high when I saw those redwoods. I was drunk.
Okay.
You just said you were on DMT.
I was lying. That's the third time I've said I made that up.
Oh.
But you did cry.
Yes, that's true.
But
they are breathtaking. It's beautiful.
The beauty of nature and like everything that hits you. I mean, I think about like, what was this world without us? What was this country without its people arriving and changing? This could have been everywhere, and who knows what could have been. Like I'm a little emotional right now thinking about what we could have other than that beauty that's preserved. So America, keep it up.
We got some hate.
We got some hate email. Ooh! Let's talk about it.
Our friend Matt Maloney here. Subject line: another one from this fucking guy. This fucking guy.
That's got to be about you.
Now he listen to this. All right. I demand. This is his letter. This isn't just me. I demand the listeners of this show be aware that a one Mr. Brian Volke, not my name, so I'm not going to take it personal.
There's no L. You're not a Vulcan. It's Volke.
Volke. Mr. Brian Volke has seen me in person not just once, but twice since the release of No Sir, I Don't Like It, episode 22, Buy in Bulk. On neither occasion did Mr. Volke provide me with a maple bar. Not one from Dunkies, not one from anywhere. Well, there is no Mr. Volke, so I don't think he can give you a maple bar. Matthew Maloney. So if you listeners found yourself encouraged to write to the show in hopes that you too may be rewarded with a breakfast pastry of any sort, then I have some sour news for you. It ain't gonna fucking happen, so don't even fucking bother. We shall see if you cowards at No Sir, I Don't Like It have the cojones required to release this scandal-ridden email in its entirety to your listeners. I'm doing it, buddy. I very much doubt it, of course. Well, you got my name wrong, and your doubts are unfounded, so 2-0 me. What have you to gain? Despite this, we know that the people deserve the truth. Hypocrisy in a podcast. That is indeed what I do not like. So, in summation of Brian Volke, is he funny? Possibly. A man of his word? Absolutely not. Great episode as always, Matthew Maloney. Now, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about with the maple bar. Luckily, there's a little postscript here.
No, because it was from that was the episode where the trees made you cry, and he wrote an email making fun of you, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm so glad somebody made fun of me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy him a maple bar."
Dude, that's so funny. I should get that guy a donut.
You should. Here we go, and the circle continues. Now you're not gonna do it, and he's gonna write us another email saying that you didn't do it.
Yeah. So he wrote, thank God somebody made fun of me for that. I'm buying Matt a fucking donut. I'm going to Dunkies and I'm getting him a maple bar. Quote, Brian, now with an I all of a sudden. Brian Volke. Now I'm neither Brian with an I nor Volke. Upon hearing Matthew's criticism, episode 22. Well, thank you for writing in, Matt. If I meet this Brian with an I Volke, I'll let him know he owes you a maple bar. Why does it say don't say thank you when open the door?
I just hate when people don't say thank you when I open the door for someone. Because, when you open the door, that actually takes physical strength. I know it's not hard, but you're doing it. A thank you doesn't take any physical strength. Obviously, you're...
You just have to flex your vocal cords.
Flex your vocal cords, yes. So, I just hate when people don't say thank you. It's so annoying.
Southern boy.
It's super... Well, I guess so. Memphis, Tennessee. But maybe I'm just a nice person, you know what I mean? Like a good person.
And you should we want it to be reciprocated. You know You're trying to put out good in the world.
Even evil people say thank you. Say what?
Have you ever confronted somebody for not?
Yes. If someone doesn't say, if someone, it depends. It depends. Like sometimes I'm like, you're having a good day, don't ruin, you know what I mean? But a lot of times, like half the time, I would say more than half the time, I yell, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
Preacher, tell everybody where to find you.
You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. All my social media and YouTube is Preacher Lawson. That's it.
Preacher, Lawson. Watch him on America's Got Talent.
Next Tuesday.
The 27, specifically, hello, Michael Maloney. Michael Maloney.
Matthew Maloney. Oh, there's an email right there.
Oh, I can't wait. He's going to be really upset. Matthew Maloney.
He's one of our friends who writes in a lot.
Oh,
and he's really funny. He does a lot of indignant, angry emails about, I owe him a maple bar.
He's still very upset about it.
I'm going to give him a maple bar next time I see him.
Oh, so he's going to talk about how he hates me?
No, me.
Because she got his name wrong.
Said Michael, because there's a comedian named Michael Malone.
Yeah.
And then his name's Matthew Maloney.
So her saying his name wrong is going to get some shade from him.
He's going to get mad.
What up, Matthew?
Matthew's got no problem with you.
Go.
He's the guy who plays chess.
He actually wrote us an email because he was mad that I called Danny DeVito, that I said he was a secondary character.
He's not. I was right, and Matt backed me up. So. You ever watch Always Sunny?
Yeah, this is how long
it's like a Bible verse.
I know. He gets so upset. He gets so upset. It's really funny.
Anyway, I gotta go.
We have some email that we have to respond to. We're actually in a lot of trouble with a couple of listeners.
With Mr. Baloney?
Yeah, Mr. Baloney.
Fat Thew Baloney. Take that, Fat Thew.
You still owe him a maple bar, though.
I do owe him a maple. Yeah, I owe him a maple bar.
By the way,
a hug for what I just said.
So Matthew wrote us a while back, and we had responded to it, but we lost that episode.
Sorry, Matt.
So we have to address. He's still mad from things from the Preacher episode. That's how long ago he's upset. He said, I appreciated the shout out at the end of Preacher Lawson episode, but it seems you have some misconceptions about me that I would like to take a moment to correct. One,
I love Matt.
Carmen, you seem to fear that I might write in solely to berate you simply for mispronouncing my name. I assure you I would never do such a petty thing, especially not after misspelling Brian Volke's... After misspelling Volke 4 times and Brian once in the previous email. No worries, Carmen. Nobody's perfect, least of all you. You both seem to be under the impression that I am, quote, so angry and, quote, very upset in my past correspondences. This simply just isn't the case. My emails are meant to be taken as constructive criticisms with an occasional offering of a difference of opinion. Admittedly, I was a bit miffed about the whole donut debacle. Oh, see, he's still upset about the maple
I
bar.
got you, dog. I'm out of town. What do you want from me?
You've been waiting to be able to say that. That's why we had to be out of town so you can give an excuse as to why you haven't gotten him one. But
I
in
think the reason
retrospect,
why we think he sounds so angry is nowadays, whenever anybody uses proper grammar, it sounds like you're in trouble.
It's a complaint letter.
Every other email is like, "What up, no? I love you."
That's the only time you ever want all your grammar to definitely be correct is when you're writing a complaint letter.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It just seems too formal
He's
for
not
fun.
using contractions or anything. I feel like I'm in
He
trouble.
didn't say gonna
You'll not
once.
Let this stand.
He was miffed about the donut debacle, but in retrospect, that one was on him. He said he hasn't spent much time in Los Angeles.
I was about to say that. I haven't run into
and he said
Matthew.
he often forgets that it's an entire metropolis filled with wide-grinning, empty shell people pleasers who will promise you anything.
That is exactly
if it might
me.
help them in the
Wide-eyed.
slightest
He's
way.
making fun of my big eyes.
Achieve.
It's not my fault. I have shallow eye cavities.
He said he naively thought that you happened to be that you weren't one of these desperate and talentless leeches.
Well, you were mistaken, Matthew. Has anybody ever moved to LA and not been a talentless leech? That's where we go.
Thirdly, Brian, you told Preacher to his face that he had no problem with him. This couldn't be farther from the truth. He can't stand the way he passive-aggressively announces you're welcome to everyone within a 2-block radius just because I happen to walk through a door. Oh, he was talking about when you hold the door for somebody.
I remember Preacher talking about this, but I don't understand what he's saying right now.
You read it.
Okay.
Can I ask who this person is?
He listens to the show, and we always, at the end of the show, we always invite people to, hey, if you anything you want to complain about, write us.
Okay.
And he writes us often, and it's always like the most passive-aggressive emails they're fun and tongue-in-cheek, and it's a good time. Like, we like them. So now it's just like, let's see what Grumpalotopus Maloney is complaining about now.
Okay, so I'm going to read this, but and then I'm going to try to explain how I see it. But
here we go.
Well, no, I just don't know if I totally get what he's saying. But I said, third, Brian, you told Preacher to his face that I had no problem with him. So I guess I told Preacher that I didn't think Matt had a problem with Preacher.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't even know how that would have happened. But this couldn't be further from the truth. I can't stand the way he passively aggressively announces you're welcome to everyone within a 2-block radius just because I happen to walk through a door he was holding open.
Yeah.
But also, to be fair, Preacher says everything within a 2-block radius. The guy's lungs are the size of 55-gallon drums. Congratulations, Lawson, on displaying a pitten's worth of common courtesy towards your fellow man. Shakespeare 101 over here. So sorry.
He had to have been a theater kid.
He is. I've talked to him about it, but I don't know. Yeah. I've talked to him about theater.
I'm gonna guess. Don't tell me, but I think he was definitely he definitely helped with the set construction for sure. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe like a light guy. Maybe a light guy.
I think he was on stage.
He was in acting too.
Yeah, I don't think light guys say pittance. I don't think that's a word that light guys say. So sorry I failed to notice this grand gesture as I was on my phone trying to get my AGT vote in on time. You fucking prick. How about instead of snapping at people for doing something they could easily do themselves, you try not doing things for others just because you expect gratitude in return. So the next time we happen to be entering a building together and you're just a bit ahead of me, feel free to stroll on in because I'm strong. I'm a strong independent male and I can get my own damn door. Well, I think Preacher's at entourage level now, so you're never going to be right behind him in a doorway ever again.
A lot has happened since this email.
Yeah, a lot. He's famous now, so that's how long it's been. Literally, our guest has gotten famous since this email's been written.
You guys did wonders for his career.
Yeah, really did.
It was really nice of
It
you
was
guys.
either our podcast or being a finalist on America's Got Talent. One or the other.
But
Thanks
I like to think it's a little column A, a little column B.
You know what's funny is when we set up that one with Preacher, I was like, hey, you want us to put it out next week so we can plug AGT? And he goes, that'd be great. He totally was being too sweet. He didn't realize I was being sarcastic. As if our podcast would help push America's Got Talent's ratings up. He goes, yeah, thanks, bro. Thanks for thinking of that. Thanks for taking the time to hear out my side of these points. I hope it clears something up for y'all. I look forward to hearing more great shows. Peace and love, Matthew Maloney. Matthew Baloney, I am a huge fan of you. I'm sorry I called you Fat Thew Baloney. I won't do it again. Yeah, so this woman got on and she's an attractive pregnant lady on the train, and she was wearing a white dress, and she was showing, and I was
her vagina, or you just mean her belly? You could
her
tell
belly.
that you could say she was pregnant and she wouldn't be offended because
it was obvious she was pregnant. Yeah, the thing was ready to come, and there was all crazy people and me sitting down, so I'm the only one who really was attached to reality enough to even notice her and get up and offer this pregnant woman a seat.
Right.
But me being the extra thoughtful person I am, I refused to let her sit down.
What? How is that
She
thoughtful?
stood in front of me, stared at me. We fit like Tetris pieces. Her like she was standing over me and her gut went like I'm sitting in sitting position and her gut filled the hole in between. We fit, and she was just staring at me like, I cannot believe you're not letting this seat up. And if you've listened to this podcast for a long time, you know, way back in one of the early episodes, I described a scene where I had seen a man in a fetal position just diarrheaing all over one of the seats. Now, I'm assuming if I've seen that one time, it's happened on every single one of the seats.
Just like roaches. If you see one, there's millions of them.
Exactly. There's no way that was like, you saw the only time somebody shit.
Ever shit on the train.
Yeah, so I assumed that all these seats had shit on them. She's wearing a skirt. That's easy access for whatever shit disease to crawl up her panties and make the baby like have hepatitis or addicted to heroin or retarded. Whatever could happen. So I wanted to look at her and be like, listen, I know I should offer you the seat. That's how what society's determined that you deserve to take a seat because you.
Why didn't she give her a name, man? Like offer her a seat on the lap.
Just put a big pregnant lady on my lap. Come on down, lady.
It's cleaner than this seat is.
I tell you what, these Carhartts may look stained, but this ain't shit. Take a seat. It'd be cool to get a lady pregnant and have a horrible breakup with her, and then her win custody, and I only have weekends with the kid, and then the kid looks forward to those weekends.
But that's got to be frustrating, though, because you're only getting to see them 2 out of 5 days.
Yeah, so wait, but here's...
So then you can only have 2 out of 5 days worth of influence.
Yeah, but they look forward to it because their mom has to make them go to bed early for school, and their mom has to wake them up for school. Mom has to take care of all the shitty stuff, and then I just play with them and have fun with them on the weekends. So they grow up, until they're 18 or 19 or 20, they realize that I was a loser and that the whole thing was an illusion and that mom was really the good one. But during the childhood, I'm the hero because I'm taking them to the park and to football games on the weekend, and the mom does all the parenting shit. Deadbeat dad, you know? But like kind of deadbeat. Coma beat dad.
We have another one. We have a follow-up. You ask for emails and then don't read them. That's the title. That was the subject.
He's such a scorned lover.
Wait, is it the same guy?
Same guy again.
He wrote back because we didn't respond to his email.
Dear sir and madam.
Brian, I would like to start off by saying that you are my hero for not giving up your seat to that pregnant bitch.
Strong opener.
Thank you so much for that. I appreciate this grand lack of gesture because I know I do not possess within me the gall one requires to pull that shit. How I would have loved to see her face glaring at... No, she didn't glare at me. And she was just staring at me like, I cannot believe you're not letting this seat up. Glaring at you with her unwarranted judgment. Excuse me, ma'am. He really went far with this imagination. Excuse me, ma'am, but I don't believe he asked you to give birth. Why the fuck should he move for your eating for 2 ass? Okay, he's being sarcastic. Okay, at first I thought he's really mad at this pregnant lady for a second. I realize this might sound like some chauvinist, sexist, woman-hating bullshit, but I assure you it is not. I lie awake in fear of our planet's overpopulation problem. You lie awake over that? And I can't stand how our society continues to reward this needless creation of life. Is this like a plea for eugenics?
I know. Is he sending us pieces of his manifesto that he's putting together?
Holy shit, they're having a baby. Quick, give them tax breaks and parties. And make sure it's socially inexcusable for anyone to inconvenience the expecting mother in any way. But I swear, if I have an equal, if not greater amount of disdain for men actively trying to get a woman pregnant, but they're much harder to spot. So fuck you, Brian, for saying that you'd like to have a kid someday. I don't care what days may come. We will never need more catfish-looking motherfuckers crowding up the tables in front of Starbucks after not ordering shit. You say you want to be a father with weekend custody so you can always be the cool dad who lets them get away with murdering woodland creatures. But we already know Mother's going to be an emotional wreck since that's your type. And you know that you want to make her the...
Jesus, man, he's really been laying awake thinking about you, dude.
And now you want to make her the bad guy in the eyes of your psychopath son? Dick move, bro. Finally, Carmen, please stop asking listeners to write into the show. It's so frustrating when I know for a fact you have 4 emails you have yet to respond to. Obviously, you read this one. Thanks for that. But if you really want an email segment, can you please be more diligent about reading your emails? My complaints are very episode specific, and it sucks when they are read 5 episodes later when nobody remembers what the fuck I'm talking about. Just a suggestion.
Well, sometimes we have episodes in the can. What are we supposed to do? We have to rewrite. We have to redo our entire shows because Matthew
Let's
gets
explain
salty.
to Matthew what the can means. He probably thinks it means dip. Fucking hick. The can is when you have a couple episodes in a can. Right? Is that how it works?
I guess we just have a couple backlogged.
Anyway, that's Matthew. That's
Thanks,
our Matthew Maloney segment.
But I have a great joke with in calculus too now because I went to go see one of my heroes back in February, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah. Nice.
He got that son of a bitch is funnier than half the comics I know. He
really funny and charismatic.
Yes.
Oh, such a good speaker.
He's a weirdo too. You just know he's a weirdo. First thing he does, he gets on stage, he jumps out his shoes and starts slipping around in his socks, back and forth doing the whole thing in his socks. I'm like, this motherfucker.
What are you, Mark Anthony?
I know. What the hell?
Like risky business style?
Yes, he did that. He's like doing the whole show, running back and forth, and then he's so excited telling the shit. And I'm just like, I love this dude. I want to hang out with him, man. I want to get drunk with him.
Yeah.
I want to do DMT with him just to see what happens.
Just to see.
Yeah.
Oh
just to see what kind of Cosmos conversation.
Exactly.
His show, like the Cosmos show, is like Mystery School Bus, but like for stoned adults. It's essentially the same thing. Like
I completely agree.
We got an email from Matthew Maloney.
Oh, this is a cute. I haven't read this. This is a cute little headline.
Ooh, what's it say?
The subject line of this email from frequent No Sir I Don't Like It podcast emailer Matthew Maloney. The subject line is, "My heart wasn't in this one. Things didn't go well with the girl I was sweet on." Matthew, if you're coming to us for sympathy, you're not going to find it.
Yeah.
But that is a funny line, and mostly because I'm laughing at you for your shortcomings. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for the ride home.
That's even funnier.
I've noticed when Carmen opens the show, she'll often say something along the lines of, "Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another brand new episode." Brand new in parentheses, or apostrophes.
Quotes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Not apostrophes at all.
Yep.
Quotations.
Quotation marks.
Another brand new episode. There's nothing wrong with this, of course, but it strikes me as somewhat short-sighted on Carmen's part. Each episode is only brand new for a week, but the audio file, including the declaration of how new it is, will last until the sun gives out, maybe longer. So in the long term, this statement doesn't really make sense. I don't know. Maybe I'm nitpicking. Maybe I'm nitpicking. How about definitely you're nitpicking? Sometimes I wonder if I'm too hard on Carmen.
Aww.
I love what that looks like. Does he look up into his head as the sun's setting? Am I too hard on her? Sitting on a roof watching the sunset? But then I wonder if I only think that because I was raised in a sexist society that told me women needed to be protected.
I'm just a little girl. You can't talk to me like that.
That you shouldn't be mean to broads on account of they so fragile and can't take it. But I would never second guess if Brian could handle any shade I slung at him. And even he couldn't, who cares? The guy's a piece of shit. Shot through the heart. Carmen.
So he is just sexist because he just assumes I'm not a piece of shit just because I'm a broad.
No. He's saying whether or not I'm fragile or not, he doesn't care because I'm a piece of shit.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. He's assuming that I'm not a piece of shit.
He's never said where he stands on you being shit. If I were to guess on his behalf, I would say that he probably thinks you're also a piece of shit.
Then she needs to fucking sack up and say it to my face or say it to an email.
I think that'll come probably.
Especially, it's going to definitely come now that I said that.
Carmen also said mystery school bus, when she clearly meant magic school bus in the Mo Alexander episode. I'm glad you're doing this because she says a lot of things that irk me. Like having that said.
Having that said.
She says that all the time. Having that said. That drives me insane when you say that. I don't like it. Having that said.
It took somebody else's email for you to be able to fucking say this to me.
You have no ownership over what you just said when you're saying having said that. Who said it? Not you? I don't know. When you say having said that, excuse me, means I said that. Having that said means it was said in the universe. Who knows who said it? It completely changes the meaning.
Who said it? Maybe that's what
it just came out of your stupid mouth.
It might not have been a thing I said though. It might have been something that somebody else said that I said.
You say
it could have been a quote.
No, it's not. I've talked to you where you said having said that, blah 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 blah. Having that said, rather. Excuse me, I can't even say it the stupid way you say it. Having that said.
Having that said.
It sounds like something some immigrant would say. Some ESL.
You've already called me that like 9 times on 7 different. Find a better insult.
It's not an insult. It's just what you are.
I wasn't an ESOL kid. I knew English.
Carmen also said, mystery school bus. Okay. But I'm not really bothered that because mystery school bus sounds like a more interesting show. It's like CSI, but with children. I'd watch that. God knows Brian would watch that. That fucking weirdo. I gotta stop talking about pedophilia so much.
You really do. It's so
the funniest thing to me.
It's so much.
You know why I think it's so funny? Sorry, Matt. We'll get back to your email in a second. But that's why. But from now on, it'll just be ignorant kid fucking jokes. But now everybody who listens to this knows that there is a very thought out reason for it. Where were we at?
Having said that.
Anyway,
is that right?
Since we're coming up on Father's Day. That's so funny. We're coming up on Father's Day is an insult to how long it takes us to respond to his emails.
Cheeky. Very cheeky.
Carmen, maybe you can regale us with another tale of your dad's kooky escapades. Or don't. Whatever. Sorry this email isn't as good. I'm running out of crap to bitch about. Y'all must be getting better at podcasting. Congratulations, Matthew Maloney. I bet Maloney will have a few more things to write soon. We'll give you more things to complain about.
Plenty. But, the episode where I talked about my dad was one of the most we got most contact about. So
I know.
Fuck you, Maloney. How about that? And my dad. Fuck you both.
Are they the same guy?
That's what it is. This is just my dad.
You are Italian. Is that Maloney? Is Maloney Italian?
No, there's no way. There's no way that guy has any Italian in him.
Why?
He's white as fuck. He looks like a fucking Viking. You're telling me there's any kind of Mediterranean in that man?
Matthew Baloney, what's your ethnicity? Please write in. We're addressing a Matt Maloney email that we have, unfortunately, this came December 13th, and it is now December 21st.
Oh, this is only one of this email has been sent like 963 times.
Wow.
He's resent the same exact email.
Well, we appreciate your due diligence, Matthew Maloney.
I feel like he cares, man. It's really nice, you know?
I believe let's just get into it. We want to respond to this email. Guys, we do get hundreds of emails every week.
Hundreds
and feel
of thousands
free
of emails. And
to email
we just
us.
only ever choose to respond to Matthew Maloney.
Yeah, because it's just a fun narrative.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little thing we do. Anyway, let's get into Matt's most recent email. This is from Fatthew Baloney. I'm afraid there's been a gross miscommunication that has led to a grave accusation against my character. Carmen.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun. You accuse me of being sexist for failing to recognize you as a piece of shit solely because you're female. I wish to make it abundantly clear to both yourself and your listeners that I do not simply assume anyone is a piece of shit regardless of their gender. I give equal opportunity, benefit of the doubt to everyone. Well, aren't you an angel?
What a sweetheart.
That they might hold within them a morsel of decency until, of course, they prove otherwise.
Which is like you with the donut. Did you ever give him that donut?
Oh, I owe him a donut.
You owe him a fucking maple bar.
A maple bar.
He promised this guy a maple bar like 6 years ago.
Yeah, well.
It was more like 6 months ago.
But I mean,
you promised him a maple bar like 6 months ago.
To be fair, carbs are legal in the city I live in. So I do have to go out of town.
You have to do it on the low.
Yeah, I have to sneak to the valley.
You have to get it in like a crumpled up paper bag.
Yeah. You know what happens if you get caught? If you get pulled over and say, I got a taillight out. If I got pulled over for taillight and they found carbs in my car, I would be shot.
Wow.
So I'll get to you as soon as...
You're so brave.
I'm not brave. I haven't done it yet.
I mean... You could be brave. You're a maple bar away from being brave.
Matthew says, I suppose in this way I'm similar to Anne Frank.
Aw.
Anne Frank
He
gave
has a
people the
diary?
benefit
He
of the
keeps
doubt?
a diary?
I don't know anything about Anne Frank.
She gives the Nazis the benefit of the doubt?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe they're cool.
I've heard of her. I know that something went down. I know she was a writer and something went down.
Some didn't go down. Some went up. She was in the attic the whole time.
Yeah, well, what goes up must come down. That's what she gets for living on such a high horse. Old Annie Frank. One of my parents my mom anyway. Brian was also granted this chance despite the fact that many could correctly pin him as a piece of shit. With but a single glance towards the festering nest of dead rats he calls a face. I don't think I've ever called my face a face once on this podcast. So he's assuming. He says he doesn't assume anything, but he's assuming I call my face a face.
Yeah.
I've never said I have a face on this podcast. So Matthew, hypocrite. Boom.
Damn.
With but a single glance. Oh, yeah. My identification of Brian as a piece of shit is not based on any assumptions. Oh, yeah? What was the last sentence about, Buster? Nor has it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happens when you assume? You make you don't get a maple bar.
Make Anne Frank references.
Brian has earned his ranking of piece of shit through his words and actions towards his fellow man, some of which I have personally witnessed and experienced. I have a feeling there's...
I don't know, man. You've been pretty sweet to me, man. You helped me move. Like, that's not a piece of shit
I did.
move.
I helped Christian Piper, former guest. I've helped a lot of people move because I want them away. I'm kidding, Christian. I miss you. Carmen, I would never deny you this same classification because of your gender. I simply do not know you well enough to be certain that you are indeed a piece of shit. Well, I guarantee you, Matthew, with no assumptions needed, Carmen Morales is absolutely 100% a nice person.
He's only saying that because he wants me to give him work.
However, I feature for preacher now. I don't need you.
Bullshit! Not with that mouth. I don't believe you.
I'm the preacher.
Preacher.
They call me Preacher Vokey. No, I really want work desperately from Carmen Morales and
anyone actually.
Yeah, anybody out there. I got a new sweater, and the back of it is a doormat, and you can wipe your feet right on it if you give me work. Oh shit! I won't tell anybody if you want to jerk off in front of me. I will not. My lips are sealed like the Go-Go's. I will not tell anybody. You want to? You can cross a lot of lines with me.
That's how desperate he is for work.
Yeah. I don't want to cater anymore. Carmen, I would never, blah, blah, blah. And I will say, let me see here, where did I lost it. However, you'll be pleased to know that because of this misunderstanding of yours, I've started investigation into this matter.
Oh, Jesus.
And while I can't yet say for sure you're a piece of shit, a lot of evidence that's come in so far points to you being an overly sensitive bitch.
Oh, wow. Well, that's not a piece of shit. That's
You know what, though? Calling Carmen an overly sensitive bitch is the fastest way to her heart. Who will jump at any chance to call a man a sexist based on faulty logic. And
He's clearly never listened to any fucking episode of this podcast if he thinks that.
And that's definitely a start. I'll keep you posted on my investigation. As my investigation progresses, Grazie per averletto, Matthew Maloney. Matthew, that was an entertaining letter, I gotta say. I liked that one. It felt like it was mostly about Carmen. I enjoyed that. That I do like.
I don't know. He called you like a festering rat fest or whatever.
He called me a rat nest face.
What does that even look like?
It's probably what my face looks like.
I don't.
I could see some rats laying an egg in my nose.
I still feel like he's.
Do rats lay eggs?
No. Yes. No. No. They're mammals, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Yep. They're the second most spread mammal on this earth, behind kangaroos.
If anyone's an oversensitive bitch, it's Matthew Maloney because he's still butthurt about a fucking maple bar.
Yeah, for real. Though I don't think he brought the maple bar up. I think you did.
No, I know, but I feel like this aggression is coming from that.
There's a lot of assumptions there.
Well, so is his email's full of assumptions too.
I have never called my face.
He keeps talking about this research that he did about me, but he didn't say what any of the research was.
He's just been asking me at the ice house.
Is she an oversensitive bitch? That must have been something that you said to him. Now I know what you say about me when I'm not around. Good call. Good call, buddy.
Should we just keep rolling along?
Yeah.
What's going on with chicken fingers?
They got them at McDonald's now.
Oh, but they're buttermilk tenders.
The chicken tenders.
Bullshit.
Chicken tenders.
They're fingers tenders. It's not right.
What's wrong with McDonald's having?
So it should stay nuggets?
McDonald's.
So you're on nugget only?
I had a problem with the nuggets. I didn't say nothing at first.
You did?
Wait,
because they was nugget size. Once you stretch them out to finger/tender size, now we got a problem.
Why?
Why?
Because now you fucking with KFC money, Popeye money, church money, Chick-fil-A money,
Zaxby,
and all the local chickeneries. So now what?
So fuck the burger joint?
But that's the man is coming down on the little man.
So you're talking about a monopoly.
You
a
really
monopoly on the chicken market?
We have an email to get back to from Mr. Matthew Maloney. And this is the first time I think we've responded to an email the week after.
Yeah, we've nailed it.
Because this email refers to Yusuf, and that was our last episode.
That was last episode.
The subject line is, McDonald's doesn't even own a monopoly on sweepstakes based on the Monopoly board game. That's actually really true. Safeway does that too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's from Matthew Maloney regarding last week's episode. I would appreciate it a great deal if you could let your buddy Yusuf Ali and know that his grievance with McDonald's is based on nothing but his own ignorance. It's so funny because I know that Matthew is being funny and Yusuf was being funny and they're both being dumb.
I know.
And it's
now
creating
they're
this it's just so
it's
like,
almost like a dumb off.
It's almost like what's that movie where the Marx Brothers take over the country, Duck Soup. This reminds me of Duck Soup. His repugnance towards the franchise was reignited over the recent addition of buttermilk crispy tenders to the McDonald's menu during mid-October of last year. He is foolishly under the impression this will be fucking with, in quotations, the money of chicken-centric worldwide chains, as well as local restaurants, or as he refers to them, chickenries. I forgot he called them chickenries. Open up your eyes, Yusuf. Every non-vegetarian restaurant has chicken on its menu, with the sole exception being In-N-Out. McDonald's didn't bestow the golden masterpiece we know as the McNugget onto this earth until 1981. So as far as I'm concerned, they gave everybody else a 26-year head start. Why 26 years?
From the beginning of McDonald's, no?
Oh, okay. All right. I just thought that was when chicken became a thing. Chickens have only started in 1950, whatever, 1981.
That's when we started like, the birds that keep running around. Maybe we should eat them.
To think the addition of buttermilk tenders to the fast food market could cause a dent to the bottom line of your beloved chickenries is laughable at best. And even if it did, how bad could you really feel knowing that none of the restaurants you listed by name sell a single buttermilk battered product? There's some research in here. I believe it is wise that they don't, as buttermilk is a delicious sounding ingredient that in reality leaves everything it's poured into tasting rancid. That's true. I've thought about that before, because one time I bought buttermilk for a recipe, and I used it in the batter, and then I was like drunk one night, and I was like, oh, I bet that's creamy and delicious. And I drank a little buttermilk straight out of the thing, and it tastes like sour milk. It's disgusting.
Gross.
Buttermilk sounds so good.
It does. It sounds like it should be butter and milk and together. Yeah. So a salty, beautiful, milky, but it's not. It's gross.
It's rancid, as like the band. Also, no one is telling KFC that they can't sell beef. If they want to stay in that lane, that's fine. But Jesus Christ, even Del Taco will sell you a burger. Furthermore, I would like to inform Mrs. Morales that I am not butthurt, as she so eloquently put it, over a matter as trite as a maple bar. No, dear Carmen, the source of my metaphorical anus pain comes from a certain slug-like yokel making a promise to me that he had no intention of keeping. A promise which he continues to make time and time again. I do got to get him a maple bar.
You really do.
Yeah, I should get him a maple bar.
Just buy the man of.
I'm going to get him one.
Stick to your word, you dick, please.
I don't look at it as letting him down. I just look at it as I haven't come through yet.
You know? Oh, he's just on the waiting list?
Yeah, he's on the waiting list.
How many people are on the waiting list? How many people do you own metaphorical maple bars to?
I don't know. A promise which he continues to make time and time again, only to time and time again fail to follow through with, continuously besmirching what little credibility the podcast you share has left. Finally, Brian, I regret to admit that I owe you an apology.
Wow.
I'm going to read this one slow.
Hold on.
Soak it up.
I'm listening.
I did indeed make the assumption that you had a face. You see, up until recently, it was my understanding that a face, more specifically a mouth, would be required to host a podcast in the way that you do. But upon going back through, you say upon and unto a lot. But upon going back through your episodes, it has come apparent to me that you have been talking out of your ass the entire time. Sounds like some guy in tights who would take a glove off and slap me with it. The show is definitely starting to come together, guys. I'm loving it. Get it?
McDonald's. Call back.
Good job, Matthew Maloney. Yeah, I think I'm going to get broadsided by a bunch of feminists on this podcast.
Why?
I was looking at the lineup, and it was like the kind of comedians who only do all-female lineups. Mm. And I was like, oh, boy, I'm going to say something wrong in their eyes. Yeah. I'll probably be like, where's the bathroom? I have to pee. With your penis? You have to pee with your penis? You rapist? I don't know. I'm a little nervous. Those people make me nervous. And then when I get nervous, I get...
Is it because they remind you of every ex you've ever had?
Not everyone, but a couple. But yeah, I know. I get scared. Maybe they'll be cool. I don't know. But definitely not, like, it's not gonna
well, don't go in full of fear, you know.
Like, I know it's not gonna be a free comedy environment where I can just, make a few mistakes here and there.
Like on the Friends Forever podcast, or what is it?
Best Friends Forever.
Best Friends Forever podcast, where you can just
rip
really let loose.
Yeah. Actually, I'm probably the only person in their podcast history who's been edited out, because I often would just go ahead and pull up the Nazi national anthem
and play
it secretly, turn the volume up slowly until they're doing the podcast over Deutschland über alles. Oh my God! Anyway, what were we doing? Matthew Maloney's email.
That's right. Yeah.
So that was
good segue.
That all went off from pigeons, I guess. All right. So Matthew, like I said, we're in real life, we're responding to this
promptly, but it's not going to seem that way.
Nothing moves fast in Hollywood.
Is that a quote, or are you making them up now?
I don't know. I'm still not in Hollywood. Just wanted to take a quick. Okay, this is his letter. Just wanted to take a quick second to remind you fuckwits that Bruce and Zach's podcast is called Friends Forever Podcast. There is no best in their name. But I'm sure the fine dorks at Best Friends Forever appreciated the unintended bump in listeners they got for their fantasy football podcast. Don't know how many times your friends need to invite you on their show before you remember the name, but I guess it's more than a collective 6. I also wanted to sarcastically say that I love the new segment you have where Brian says he doesn't want to give away anyone's bit and then just repeats some Adam Sandler jokes, followed by Carmen giving away Kevin Nealon's closer. Very classy, guys. Looking forward to more original content from you guys. I think that's very funny, Matthew, and you're right. And also, forgetting names. Didn't we get into that on this podcast?
Yeah, the name dropping?
No, forgetting names.
Forgetting names?
Have we talked about that? Because he's getting mad at us for forgetting the Friends Forever name. And
I think it's because I said it was Best Friends Forever or something like that.
Yeah, well, who fucking cares? It's impossible to remember every podcast name, every person's name. 4 minutes and 55 seconds left of the second quarter.
I feel like you're doing this just to piss me off at this point.
Yeah, name dropping.
I think name dropping is annoying because a lot of times it feels like it's like you're trying to make yourself seem better by you being next to somebody else. And I understand it when you're talking to other people that may know that person, like, oh yeah, fucking, like we just talked about Chris Red, fucking friend at Tone Bell, he's been on the thing, blah 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 blah. Like,
but you're trying to sell tickets though, and you were trying to promote the podcast. Those all had reasons.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
You're
but
not
when people
trying to seem more
egregiously do it. Like, I'm certain you've seen it. I've certain you've been in conversations where people are annoying about it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I mean, of course, there's a lot of people who are selling themselves to you because they're insecure and they want, but that's their problem. That's not name dropping's problem. That's like
You're about to do the guns don't kill people, people kill people with name dropping.
Okay, that's like I use. Let's use airplanes as an example. I use name dropping as a way to get me from one place to another in a conversation, right? It's like a commuter thing.
Right.
Now, those people at open mics, they use airplanes like 9/11. They crash them into your building, that is you, and they ruin the mood for everybody.
Like we know a dude, and he's kind of a prick, and he runs an open mic, and years ago, Louis dropped in and did his open mic, and he still tries to use that as like creating credibility for not only the mic, but for himself. Like that
was the mic at an event, like a club?
I don't know. No, it was here. It was some fucking shitty bar show or something like
wow.
that. And so it's like, none of that doesn't mean anything. Just because somebody was in a geographical location doesn't mean shit to your worth as a human being.
Right, but I'll counter that. My father name dropped on my behalf when we were there. How's comedy going? My dad says Jerry Seinfeld dropped into my son's show. Everybody at the table goes, wow, so comedy's going good?
and then you say, no, I'm a 32 caterer.
I just say, yes. Did I tell you I met Elon Musk? And you just start spinning the ball, and then nobody has to, because it's not for me. It's not making me feel better. I know the truth. But it is making my family feel better because they don't have to be worried about the realities of my situation. You know what I'm saying?
So you just want them to live in delusion, not you living in delusion.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
Okay.
And name dropping helps with that. Like I said, I use it to get from one place to another. It's like an airplane.
He's been in L.A. too long. Fucking, I swear L.A. makes people pussies. I don't know. Anyways, what else? He wrote more, I think. He wrote us again. He wrote an email, and then he wrote us another email.
We got a postscript,
which
is what PS stands for, you animals. Postscript from Matthew Maloney. Carmen hates name dropping, huh? Sorry, her screen is so cracked that I can't see it. That rhythm was going to be really good. But then I sounded like a carnival barker. Carmen hates name dropping, huh?
Sorry.
These were posted the fucking day after your anti-name drop rant was released. For Christ's sakes, Carmen. And what he's saying is these were posted was that Carmen and I both posted that Tom Segura dropped into an open mic we were hosting. Now, the reason why he's going after Carmen is because I was on the right side
Of name dropping, blah, blah,
Because
blah.
I defend name dropping.
Whatever, just
For
read it.
Christ's sakes, Carmen, you used a guy hosting a mic that Louis dropped in as a specific example of name dropping. Oh, he got your ass there. He got your ass perfectly. Carmen made fun of a guy who promoted Louis dropping into his mic, and then the very next day after that came out, she posted Tom Segura dropped in to a mic she was hosting.
But I don't carry that around as a badge. See, Matthew, you don't fucking listen is really what the problem is.
You're so angry.
I'm not angry.
God damn.
You got me all railed up.
Hashtag me too.
Oh, wait till this isn't recording. I'll show you a fucking Me Too story.
And bro, let me finish the email.
All right.
And Brian, I suppose you forgot to send this to just your family to keep them from worrying for you. He got me there too, because you said defended name dropping as a reason
to deflect your family's attention onto your lack of career.
Yeah, exactly. How's comedy going? Jerry Seinfeld did my show. Don't care that Brian put it in the context of a lame little joke. No one needed to know Segura did your mic, but you wanted them to know because you thought it was cool, which it was. It was fucking awesome, but that ain't my point. Y'all's just a bunch of name-dropping hypocrites. For shame. You know, Matthew in real life got busted me too again recently where one of our early episodes, I was talking about how annoying it is that every little filmmaker is on this metro trying to make a film. And like
and then it came. You're the beginning of the Surviving Hollywood. You come out of the metro station. That
no, it's just I have there's that one, but there's also a whole nother sketch that I wrote that we're filming in a train station. And Matt overheard it and he was like, "Oh, you're filming at the metro station?" Again, he goes, "You don't remember like a 20-minute rant you went on about how." Every pretentious little asshole filmmaker in LA is filming in the train stations.
Look, Matthew, sometimes you have to become what you hate in order to get shit done.
I love that though, because I'll tell you,
it's funny.
The best thing about that is like when you live in LA, I have one friend that I've known. Okay, I live with a guy I've known for 10 years, but we were never like super close friends. I have one really close friend in LA, and he's moved to the desert now. And out in Joshua Tree, so I don't ever see him. And one thing I miss in LA that I had in Oakland or Georgia is people who could make fun of me for things that happened 10 years ago or whatever, you know, and how you change. And people knowing that kind of stuff about you. It makes you feel like you're connected to Earth. Yeah. And, you know.
It also makes you feel like somebody cares about you because they remember things you did. And then also.
Right, yeah, it's like a family feeling. Yeah. And so I don't have that in LA. So just even going back 50 episodes and remembering that and making fun of me for that is like as close to like I'm not calling you Matt. Don't even think I'm calling you fucking family, you piece of shit. That's not all I'm saying.
If you were family, I would have bought you a maple bar. That's for sure.
Yeah. That email made me miss my friends. I'm not calling you my friend. Okay? Made me miss my friends, which was a nice feeling though, because it's nice to have something to miss. He says to Carmen, "Hey, I'm Joe." And Carmen, you got one thing.
Before you start,
hold on. Let me.
I don't want you putting in everybody's head what you think I said. I know what I said.
I want to. I know more about what I saw than because you have your perception of yourself, and then there's the reality of yourself.
What is that supposed to mean?
The perception or something. Like what I'm about to say, how you did this, you're going to disagree with, but it's because you're caught up in the illusion of Carmen.
What does that mean? What is the illusion of Carmen?
We all have our ego. We all have our what we think we are, and then there's what we really are. You know, and those sleepless nights when you're tossing and turning, that's you confronting the real you. And when you're feeling good.
What are you talking about?
I'm sure the listeners at home know exactly what I'm talking about. We all have an illusion of ourselves. We have an ego, right? And then there's the reality. So all I'm saying is, let me explain how I saw the interaction between you and Joe Bartnick, and then you can argue with me, but you'll be wrong.
Oh, no, fuck you. Fuck you. Bullshit. I know exactly what I did. I was trying to...
No, let me start.
It was a funny thing. I wasn't trying to tough guy anybody. I'm 5'1.5 inches. I'm not gonna tough guy a guy that's a fucking set. What are you talking about? You make it sound like I was flexing on him.
The illusion of ourselves.
Fuck you. Fuck you. I'm gonna smash that glass in your face. I'll show you a fucking illusion. we also have another one from Mr. Maloney.
Oh, Mr. Maloney, the No Sir stepson.
Yep.
Brian, thank you so much for confirming that yourself and I ain't family. I'd hate for your listeners to think I share genes of a man so visibly hideous he once publicly denied having a face to spare his fragile ego from a joke at the expense of his appearance. I don't know what that's referring to, but I'm sure it's true.
Oh, remember when you were like, he had wrote something that made you nostalgic and miss your family, and he made it a huge point to be like, you're not my family. It just made me miss my family.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'd also like to add...
Classic Brian.
I really don't. I'd also like to add that I love this new thing you're doing when you begin an anecdote by declaring that Carmen will likely deny what you're about to say, and then continue to rattle on about a bunch of nonsense which she so angrily denies because it in fact never happened.
This is the Joe Bartnick thing.
Then you simply sweep her objections under the rug by labeling them the illusion of Carmen. That's the kind of gaslighting shenanigans I'm all about. It's a pattern that makes for great listening, so by all means, keep it up. It's true. That's exactly what I'm doing. I'm trying to get her mad. But it's not,
Why?
But it's not gaslighting when it's for entertainment purposes. See, when it's psychotic is when you're acting like the world's watching, but you're really just torturing a friend. Mm-hmm. But this is being recorded and put out to the public, so there's a reason for it.
Plus, I also know it's happening.
Exactly.
I'm not an idiot, guys.
I don't do it when the mics are off.
Well,
yeah, I do. The show has been great lately, but I wish you guys would talk more about soccer. And then he wrote in his contradiction of the month, episode 49, One Fist at a Time. Brian, there is no food I don't like at all. Carmen, there's no way that's true. Brian, go ahead, try. 31 minutes later, Brian, I can't stand raisins. Raisins suck. They've ruined every cookie they've ever been in. Lori Kilmartin. When you think it's a chocolate chip cookie and it's a raisin cookie, Brian, that's worse than war.
You did say that.
You know what?
You do contradict yourself on a regular basis. It does make for good listening, because then people can go, what the fuck is with this guy? And then they feel like they win, and that's what we try to provide. We try to provide.
I can't wait to hear how wrong I was about gentrification. That's going to be fun. I'll murder all of you. All right, well, I'm going to go get an SCI bowl and then kick a low-income person of color in the forehead.
Okay, guys, thanks so much for listening. Email us if you want. No, sir, I don't like it. podcast@gmail.com. That's no, sir, I don't like it. podcast@gmail.com. Subscribe, write us, listen, enjoy. Oh, shit, we have all those Matthew Maloney things to respond to.
Listen, Matt, we've been traveling. It's been tough, okay? Listen.
Did you not hear this whole soccer rant? Brian's having a hard time.
We're going to get to you next week, I promise. And I'm really sorry that we didn't get back to you now, but there were bigger fish to fry. And if you've met Matt, that's a big-ass fish I'm talking about. Anyway, thanks, everybody, for listening. This has been another episode of No, Sir, I Don't Like It.
No, sir, I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it.
No, sir, I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it.
No, sir, I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it.
What is the fucking matter? What are you stupid or what?
What is the fucking matter? What is the fucking matter? What is the fucking matter?
What is the fucking matter? What are you stupid or what?
No, sir, I don't like it.
I don't want your life.
No, sir, I don't like it.
I don't want your life. No, sir, I don't like it. I don't want your life. No, sir, I don't like it. I don't want your life.
No, sir, I don't like it.
I don't want your life.
No, sir, I don't like it.
I don't want your life. No, sir, I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. I don't want your life. What is the fucking matter? What are you stupid or what?
What is the fucking matter? What is stupid or what?
No, sir, I don't like it.
No, sir, I don't like it.
I don't want your life.
No, sir, I don't like it.
When you attach...
I hope you do accidentally fucking kill yourself when you're choking yourself fucking jerking off, you piece of shit. How's that for an oversensitive bitch?
It's right on brand. Right on brand for an oversensitive bitch.
I know, that's why I said it.
I know, but I'm also... Come on.